Hey you. Yeah, you. You didn't stumble here by chance. So let's talk. My name is Tyanne, but a lot of people call me Taj. And I'm most known for my loud New York personality. Brooklyn, to be specific. And my unfiltered opinions. And most recently, for being your favorite homegirl. Yeah, because I'm a realtor too. Don't forget that. And the Melanated Mindset is a safe space for unpopular opinions and heated debates amongst the diverse melting pot of those of us that identify as a melanated millennial. Now, I can't speak for y'all, but after seeing what being an adult is really about, nah, I got some things to say. And I know y'all do too. So let's talk about it, because what's really going on? That was a really good one. Like, not to toot our own horn, that was a really good one.
Yeah, I do feel that one was pretty good.
What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Melanated Mindset. And before we get started, I definitely want to take the time to thank you for sharing space with us today. Yes, I said us, and as y'all heard, somebody has finally decided to grace us with his presence.
You say finally, like I'm not on a couple of episodes.
I'm talking about this season. Thank you very much. This is your first appearance this season, and we are on episode 4.
That's true. That's true. What's up, y'all? Y'all know who it is. Mr. Watson in the building. Better late than never.
Anyway, y'all, happy first of the month. Happy first of the year. It is the first official Melanated Monday of 2024.
Right, I was gonna say, and happy Monday as well.
Yeah, like y'all, I seen a tweet that said a year that starts on a Monday means business, and let me just say this, so do I. But we gonna get into that a little bit later. We have officially made it to our anniversary, to 10 years married.
Officially, a whole decade.
A whole goddamn decade, y'all.
A
What
whole
the
decade of
hell?
black love.
Y'all, like, it's not, I'm not gonna say like we did it, like, oh my God, we got to the finish line, but like, that is such a big milestone to me. By now, y'all should have seen the vlog because last time I was talking to y'all, I think we had just come back from vacation. Y'all, it was amazing. I think I did a really good job summing up that experience, this milestone, in a very cinematic way. So definitely make sure that y'all go run up that vlog because it took me.
Yes, babe did that. She did that. Catching them angles, telling the story, getting the content. She put in her work for sure.
I did so much for that vlog, y'all. Like, not even just for the vlog, but just to really capture this moment. I was telling y'all how I felt about like when we got married the first time and kind of being like, not necessarily embarrassed, but like I would be sad when I would see people post their wedding pictures and we only have those 2 wedding photos. They're terrible, in my opinion. I really wanted to do a good job of recreating a new moment while also tapping into a memory for us, while also capturing it all simultaneously. Like, y'all, that vlog took me over 10 days and over 50 active hours of editing. I put my all into that vlog. I knew that we needed wedding pictures. So when Xavier gets older, I'm showing him the Tulum pictures because if y'all don't know, we did go to Tulum.
Yeah, our colors in them pictures then it wasn't even
It
complimenting
was
each
a
other at
high. I
all.
was wearing pants. Anyway,
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
we not even gonna get into that. I just want to say, one, go run up that blog, and two, like I'm really, the past couple of weeks, I have been really taking my craft more seriously and really tapping into how to make my content more immerseful. Like, I want you guys to feel like you are there with me, but I also want to do a really good job of documenting my life from my perspective. I always tell everybody, like, when I'm old, I want somebody to like put a laptop, or at that point, I don't know, put some some screen in the air, whatever.
Put your Apple goggles on.
Yeah, whatever it's gonna be, and like
Your Meta Quest.
yeah, and play my life back for me. My best memories, my highlight moments. I want to see them. I want all of my senses to feel like I am back in that moment, and that is the level and the direction I've been taking my content and my crafting, and I really hope that you guys can tell. Y'all know I have to start the episode with a question. So this time I'm asking y'all, the tribe, but I'm asking you, babe. How do you know when you've outgrown someone? Now, before we get into some things, y'all know your girl is never gonna miss an opportunity for a shameless plug. So if you are OG part of the tribe and you show up every week or whenever the season is live, and you come and you share space with me and you want to hear what I gotta say, or if this is your first time and you would like to be a part of the tribe, because I would love to have you, make sure that you follow me on all social media sites so you can keep up with me in kind of sort of real time. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Tyanne.Watson. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Tyanne Watson. Make sure you follow me on TikTok again at Tyanne Watson. And make sure you pull up on YouTube because I am telling cinematic stories over there now. Okay? That is also at Tyanne Watson. And I got another one I'm gonna add, but just not yet. We're not there yet in the episode. We have made it to our complaint and highlight of the week. It is the first Monday, the first day of the new year. I definitely have a complaint, unfortunately.
What's your complaint?
The fact that right after y'all talked to me last time, 2 weeks ago, would y'all believe that I got the flu and then Xavier got the flu? Xavier's still recovering. It was terrible, y'all. Thank God I didn't have like a heavy real estate workload. So I was sick and mainly working from home, but I didn't have much real estate work to do. So I got to do chill, my personal business brand stuff, which was still very taxing, but like I feel like everybody was sick around Christmas. Like,
Yeah, the flu's going around crazy.
y'all, that ER when we took Xavier was packed. Okay, everybody's in there coughing, masked up. I don't know who needed to hear this, but it's time to go back to wearing masks and wiping down them shopping carts when you go to the grocery store. Yeah, I'm talking to you. When you walk past, you look direct, you make eye contact with the disinfectant wipes and keep pushing back. Stop doing that. People is out here and they nasty, okay? Wipe the carts down, sanitize your hands, make sure you're wiping down your cart. Like, go back to height of COVID because the germs is really germing out here in these streets.
Yeah, apparently it's like a new version of COVID. I haven't heard nothing about
They letting stuff off in the air
new
again,
version
y'all.
of the flu. Like businesses need to really like restock their freaking hand sanitizers and stuff. Like
Give me 6 feet. Don't be up on nobody. Make like people's out here and they spreading germs. Anyway, I don't just have a complaint. I have a high. Come on, please. I have a highlight, y'all, and I think it is probably my favorite highlight thus far. We are 5 seasons deep. My highlight is not.
you too excited to explain?
I am. It's not even for me. I mean, it's for me, but it's really for y'all. Surprise, y'all. We are expanding. And no, I don't mean our family because y'all been wilding in my DMs lately, okay?
Hey, not too much on my son, all right?
Child. Anyway, when I say we are expanding, I mean us, I mean me, I mean you, I mean the Melanated Mindset brand that I have been slowly but surely bringing to life these past it's been like 2.5, almost 3 years now of consecutively growing and evolving this brand and taking it from the visions that I see in my head to something tangible that you guys can see. And not only see as in like my videos, my YouTube, all of that type of content, we are stepping into a new lane. My website, at the time that you are hearing this, is officially live. So stop what you're doing, pause this, and open your browser and go to TyanneWatson.com because your girl has started a blog, and not just like any blog, soccer mom blog. No, I have started a blog about everything that I talk about here, but in a little more detail. Because in a world that's very digital, very visual at the moment, we everybody love a good read. And I mean that in more ways than one. But we need to be reading. And I feel like I feel the most productive. I feel the most intelligent, regardless of what the material is when I'm reading something. So I wanted to create content that what's for my girls that be reading and my guys that be reading, and something that will really stimulate your mind and something that could serve as a more tangible resource when you want to think like, oh, what did Tyanne say about that? Like she was saying something about that. It's somewhere you could go find it without having to sift through all of the podcast episodes. And by the time y'all are listening to this, there should be 3 blog posts up. There may be 2. If there's only 2, chill. A third one is coming. But there will already be 2 posts up. The first one is 10 things that I've learned pretty much in this 10 years of being married. It just felt very form fitting. And the second one is a travel post about 5 things that I wish I would have known before traveling to Tula.
And let me tell y'all, man, like Babe really worked her ass off on this website, y'all. Like she was in here stressed. Okay,
Y'all, I'm back
like
to MySpace days,
I
teaching myself
am,
to code.
I am proud of her, seriously, because I'm a little more tech savvy than her, and she didn't ask me for no help, even though she wouldn't ask me for help unless she really, really needs it. But
Not shade. Y'all caught that? Clock it.
chill, chill. But she didn't ask me for no help. She been here stressed about it. She been talking about, but she been pushing through. And the website looks very well put together, aesthetically pleasing to the eye, very informative, very visually stunning, and y'all should definitely check out the website.
But y'all he ain't lying. I've been please, okay. I've been stressed. Like back in MySpace days, how did we think that this was fun? Like y'all, I'm building up. I can officially add web designer to my list to my resume, to my list of shit I taught myself. Like I built that website from scratch. I didn't hire a designer. I didn't do everything y'all see on that website. Every little code, they got to go in the exact perfect place to make the website do what it's supposed to do. I did myself, and it literally kicked my ass, but I am so proud of it. I feel like the Virgo in me wanted to wait until it was perfect and match what I had in my head, but I'm not doing that. I am going to grow through this blog like I've been growing through this podcast and like I've been growing through my YouTube channel, and I am going to get better as time goes on. But until then, I'm gonna need y'all to pull up because y'all we upping it. I told y'all it was only up from here, and I meant that. This is the next layer of the onion that is the melanated mindset. We getting one step closer to each other, y'all. Y'all got the pod, and then y'all got the blog, y'all got the YouTube channel. I got a couple more layers for y'all, but just bear with me.
So, my complaint of the week is that people nowadays lack manners. As a millennial, I feel like everyone grew up with some type of manners, like someone open the door for you, you say thank you. Someone give up their seat for you, you say thank you. You say good morning, you say good morning back. I feel like humans nowadays are just mad disrespectful, and I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? If I open the door for you, say thank you. Don't just walk by and just try to walk fast, like, cause now I'm gonna say you're welcome mad loud, like, so you can hear me, look at me, mad, make you uncomfortable, cause you made me uncomfortable. So that's my complaint of the week. My highlight of the week is how many days has it been? I've been consistently getting on the yoga mat all week. Actually, come think about it. I've been oiling up these joints. Getting some movement in. That's the key to longevity, y'all. You just gotta get movement. Gotta keep moving. So once you stop moving, you get stiff and you get cold lacking. You don't want to get caught lacking. Not when the zombie apocalypse happen.
Oh, brother. Lord. Now we are moving to our Fendi fact because I always got to teach y'all a little something something. Today's Fendi fact comes from a excerpt of vlog. Let me vlog, child.
Yeah, I was like, that's
Vogue.
Vogue.
It do say Vogue, y'all. Child, we're drinking wine. Y'all have to cheers. Chill out. Vogue India, which is crazy by the way, because we were just talking about India.
India, right? Yeah.
The universe is doing that thing again, y'all.
Always.
Always. The title of the excerpt, or the title of the blog, because I want to say it's a blog post, how fitting, is why outgrowing your friendships shouldn't be steeped in guilt. The article goes on to read, I felt an unfamiliar nervous pang as I put on my makeup and dressed. No, this wasn't a date I was preparing for, but a meal I was about to share with a person I had known since childhood. Normally, dinners and drinks with friends was something I excitedly anticipated, but this evening was different. I had outgrown this friend. She just didn't know it yet. Outgrowing friendships has become more common as we age. Priorities shift, people evolve, and circumstances change. Like romantic relationships, friendships are meant to be mutually symbiotic, but they can sometimes feel one sided and unbalanced. Drifting away from people can induce guilt and sadness. Am I a horrible person for not making more of an effort with someone I've known for decades? What does it say about me if I'm prioritizing newer relations over people whom I considered family? When should I end things with a friend? Truth is, friends stay for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that's okay. Friendships can come to a close for many reasons. Whether the duo no longer have anything in common, there's an emotional labor to be invested in supporting them, or you're a different version of yourself around that person that doesn't feel fulfilling. It can be difficult to quote unquote break up with a friend, but many situations warrant a respectful and courteous approach to ending things amicably. After all, that person made some impact on your life, and that should never go unnoticed.
Very well said.
I, like when I googled whatever I googled to find that Fendi fact, that was like the first link, not the sponsored one, because I be trying not to click those because I feel like it tell Google too much of my business. But it was like the next big one, and I was like, wow. And then when I saw that it was India, I was like, oh yeah, this has to be the Fendi fact. It just felt so fitting. But before we jump into the flow, I need y'all to do me a favor. If you enjoy the podcast and if it has helped you in any way, if you learned anything over these 2.5 years, or if you're new here and just want to know how you can support your girl for free, do me a favor and rate and review the podcast on whatever platform that you're listening on. It really does help me out a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything financially, but it literally means the world to me. And it make the tribe bigger, y'all.
You know we love the free.
I'm going to start by re asking you, babe, the question of the day. How do you know when you've outgrown a friend? Yeah, I know I'm asking y'all at home too, so sit with that for a second.
I think you know when you outgrown a friend when your goals just don't coincide anymore. For the most part, anyway. You know, when you have certain goals that that friend is not contributing to or making you better to reach those goals, I think you've outgrown that person. Not saying that you're that person's friend strictly because they're helping you get somewhere, but if they're not making you better and help you towards your goals as your friend, I think you've outgrown them as a friend.
Agreed. I think that's a really good point. I think for me, I think that you know that you've outgrown a friend if you have to even question if you've outgrown that friend. If that thought crosses your mind, I think that's the first kind of red flag. Like, wait a minute, things are different. If you even have to ask yourself that, I think it's worth investigating and not worth pushing off because you feel like that for a reason. That's your gut, that's your intuition telling you that energetically spiritually something is there's been some type of shift. So it's worth sitting down with yourself and really thinking like, why do I feel like this? And kind of going within to find out what's really going on.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Personally, I have only experienced out, I guess, quote unquote, outgrowing a connection once. And I think it's definitely something that I'm still healing from because, I mean, it doesn't feel good. Acknowledging it is kind of like the first step, but is let's be real, in the moment, you have to be hurt, some type of hurt to realize that you're outgrowing someone because it's either you don't want to outgrow that person or you feel bad for outgrowing that person, but it's never necessarily a good feeling to feel like someone that you once had a really strong connection with is no longer in that space with you anymore. Like that's not a positive, quote unquote, if we had to put a spin on it. I don't think that's a positive feeling. So I feel like when we experience that, it automatically feels like a negative thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But it's not a negative thing. It's just life, you know. It's part of life. It's things that it's just part of the human experience. It happens. Everyone is put on this earth to shape and have an effect on everyone else.
Agreed, but it also feels like a breakup. It doesn't feel good. Detaching yourself from someone or any type of connection you have with someone, it feels like a very it's a sharp cut. Like you literally have to sever ties, literally. And you can feel that it hurts sometimes, depending on how strong of a connection you have with this person, the type of relationship you have. If this is someone who's really close with, I feel like it's going to sting. In the grander scheme of things, no, I don't think it's a negative thing. But in that moment, when you realize the drift, or when the drift and the space between the two gets bigger and bigger and denser, it doesn't, I really don't think it feels good now that I've experienced it to a certain degree. It feels, if yeah, I would say 100% feels like a breakup or like a heartbreak. It's something that you have to grieve, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, pain is experiences that shape who you are.
Agreed. What would you say are some signs that you've outgrown a connection? My answer is going to be I don't even think there really are any, because when I thought of the question and I thought about what my answer would be, I was like, I don't think there are any signs, because it's honestly something that you can really never prepare for, because you never know which connections you would grow apart from. Like if you look to your left, look to your right, look at the people around you. You don't know who's gonna be here tomorrow. You don't know who's gonna be here 10 years from now.
I don't know. I feel like
You feel like there are signs.
yeah, I feel like there are signs. For instance, like once you're not quite interested in the same things you were before, and that person is still interested in those things, like that's a sign right there.
Agreed. I can understand that.
Like going to the club, right? If he was a frequent club goer, you know, with this set of friends or this one friend, and then, you know, things change, you elevate and you have different goals and morals, and the club might not be a thing that is part of your habits anymore, but it's still part of that so-called friend's habits. And that person's like, hey, let's go out to the club again like we always do. And you're like, nah, I'm good.
So you would say a sign is when you no longer have the same things in common.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Definitely. And I think that something that they don't prepare you for, because I feel like outgrowing connections is just a part of growing up. It's a part of adulthood. It sucks, but
It is.
you
It
like
is. It's
everyone.
just no one prepares you for it or really talks about it like that.
Exactly. And I feel like it, if I had to give any opinion on what it feels like, some people it's easy to outgrow. It's easy to be like, oh, life just, we just went our separate ways.
Right.
But other people, I feel like when the connection was really truly meaningful to you, that's when it feels like that heartbreak. That's when it feels like that breakup because you're like, wow, I really thought this person would be around forever. And I'm sad to know like they won't be, essentially. I mean, none of us will be, but you get what I'm saying. And I think that outgrowing connections has a bad kind of negative reputation, like I was saying. But
I think it has a bad reputation because I think uh when you outgrow somebody, you automatically look inward at yourself. And even though it's good to look inward at yourself at what you could have done maybe better or differently, you can't harp on it for too long because it might not be you.
mm,
Everyone has things that they are dealing with, and everything is not your fault. That yeah, there's things you could have did differently, right? There's things you could change, but you can't change the past. It already happened. So you just reflect on it inward and then move forward. You can't reflect on it inward and then harp on it, and because then you just get depressed and you bring yourself down, bring your vibration down, bring your mood down, and that's not good at all.
I really needed to hear that.
So you gotta look inward, reflect, and release.
Yeah, because I think sometimes it's really easy when you feel like you're outgrowing connections to hop on one side of the fence or the other. It's either you feel like it was all your fault, or all the other person's fault. When in reality, it could either be both of your fault or it could be nobody's fault at all. It's just the connection ran its course. And I think that when that happens, it's okay to acknowledge that sometimes there's no bad blood when you outgrow people. It's just, you can just chop it up to unequivocal growth. You guys are growing at different rates and in different directions. And I think that speaking of growth, growth is something that comes when it's needed. Like, unfortunately, we don't get a say. You either go with the flow or you kind of get swept away. You either decide, like, hey, this connection I don't feel like is no longer serving me. Or you could continue every day, like, pretending that it is, and just you're essentially taking up space. That's a empty, supposed to be an empty spot in your life, in your soul tribe, in your community, your village, but you're holding it for someone whose essentially time has expired, and you're withholding the new connection that's supposed to take that spot. Because I definitely feel like when you outgrow connections, it's to make room for new ones or better ones, or even for those connections to grow outside of one another and then come back better, bigger. Like, people reconnect all the time. So I feel like when you outgrow someone, like, it's okay to let them go, because you have to honestly know that something better, not to say like a better person, but a connection that I need more so right now. And this new chapter of my life is coming and I need to make space for that. If we look at it like that, I don't think that outgrowing people would get such a negative rep or connotation. And I feel like sometimes you can even see it coming. I feel like personally, I did, but this year
You definitely did.
I did, and it's I'm
Called it out verbatim.
and sometimes I say things out loud though, not because I'm like speaking ill will or bad energy into anything. It's just one, I've seen it like in my head. When something happens sometimes in my life, like something could be happening right now, instantly my brain is like a tape recorder that's fast forwarding. I could see so many different on Loki.
All right, that's so Raven.
This it be giving a little bit of that, maybe even slightly on the spectrum. That's really what it be giving, because literally I could see like a movie in my head. Fast forward to like, here's a possible outcome. Here's another possible outcome. And my gut will tell me which one I think will be the outcome. And sometimes I just blurt that out loud because I need to make note of it because I got to clear space in the file cabinet. That's my brain. So I need to say it out loud to get it out in the universe. Like, okay, I feel like for some reason this is going to happen. I don't know why yet, but I feel like this is going to happen. And all of this year, I've been saying things that have come to fruition as I saw them in my head. And I definitely feel like if you are one of those people that can just feel it coming or see it coming, something happens and you're like, yeah, I don't know, things may not be the same anymore. That's okay. You're not alone because I feel like not only did I see it, but like you said, I said it verbatim and to see it come to fruition is not like a
Word for word, ball for ball.
bro. And it's not even like a, oh yeah, I was right. Like it's just like, damn, I didn't want to be right this
It was
time.
like, damn, I knew it.
Yeah, it's
That's
just like,
exactly what you said to you. It was like, I knew it.
bro, like I knew this would happen. And it hurts because I didn't want to be right. I did not want to be right. But when I tell you
I
my
thought you
gut
was crazy. I'm like, man, nah,
my gut
you
was
tripping.
just it was like, you know what it felt like? You ever seen the movies when the people put the metal detectors on their arm and go to the beach looking for like treasure and shit? And it's like I when they get right over it, the machine is like beep 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 beep. Beep. Like my gut was going off like that. Like physically. I feel like at the time, in the height of all that was going on, I was feeling the most physically sick I've ever felt in my life because I just knew there was a shift happening energetically, physically, spiritually. I felt it and it just didn't feel good.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
felt
feel it.
like
I
they
didn't feel it
lost
till
it.
till later on.
Yeah, like I felt like with everything you just said not too long ago, I really needed to hear that because all I kept doing was like, bro, what did I do? Like it just felt like I was the person that was jumping on the it's me
Yeah,
side
and you
of it.
started going in circles about yourself, and
Yeah, because it
it's
was
not even
making me
about you.
question, am I the friend that I think I am? Am I the friend that I try so hard to be? It really makes you, like you said, go inward. And I really had to evaluate, well, what could I have done better? What I think I'm now at the point, like you said, of not harping on it because there was a point in time where I was thinking about it all the time, every day. Like, damn, like, am I not a good friend? Like, damn, like am I the reason that this happened? But then if I'm the reason it happened, how could I see it so clearly? Like, you get what I'm saying? I was asking myself questions that I would never have the answer to. And it was starting to drive me crazy. And like you said, it was making me really, really depressed. But I couldn't be depressed because I'm a mom and an army wife and I run a business and I show houses. So I had to get up every day and act like I didn't feel my heart literally break a little bit because I didn't want to be right, but I just knew that I would be in it. It felt like a gut punch, essentially. Okay, so let me ask you, why do you think there's so much guilt surrounding guilt? And like, I mean, it is a negative emotion, but why do you specifically think there's so much guilt surrounding outgrowing connections? Yeah, why do you think people feel guilty when they outgrow people? Because I definitely felt like that. I felt like I was a bad person.
Well, I think it's because you're so connected to that person, and you made that special bond, and you don't wanna move up without that person, or you feel like you're going above, and that person's just staying there.
I don't like saying above.
You feel
I
like
don't
you're
like that.
elevating, and that person's not.
It's not that I feel like the other person is not. I think for me, one, I think there's so much guilt surrounding outgrowing connections because it makes someone feel like the villain. Like somebody has to be the bad guy.
Oh, like someone's being selfish.
Like someone's not doing enough or someone's doing something wrong, and it's like, no, that person's a problem. There's always, it seems like a villain. Like you're either the friend that's like became someone else and like forgot about who you are or where you came from or whatever, or you're the person that actually didn't evolve and you're like, damn, like well, why did that person get to their goals and their dreams before me? You get what I'm saying? Like somebody's the bad guy, essentially. But I feel like sometimes I think that the pressure needs to be taken off of the people, because sometimes the environment is what forces that change and that shift and that connection, not even the people.
Yep, that's very much true.
Something could physically change in someone's life that causes a shift in a connection. Someone could move away, someone could move closer, someone's day to day life could drastically change, and that's automatically going to cause a shift in your connection. So sometimes
Yeah, for the military, a lot is because you've been away and connected with people in the military. You've been exposed to different cultures, and then a lot of people go back home to their hometown, and and they realize that, uh, we say it a lot, like the people you were friends civilian when you were a civilian, um, you go back home and they're doing the same things, and the army or the military have instilled certain morals in you and certain standards, and now you've outgrown that civilian life because you're now a soldier, and so you see things differently.
agreed. And I think it's important to also note that with elevation comes responsibility. Because I feel like you're responsible for doing everything possible and morally sound to become the best version of yourself. That is your responsibility. It's no one else's. You're responsible for overcoming every hurdle between you and your goals. Nobody else. You. You listening. You, babe. You, me. Like, we are all responsible for taking a hard look in the mirror and deciding who can and who can't come with us to the next level. Because at the end of the day, we know that everybody can't go, even the people that you think deserve to. And I think that's what was hard for me to digest, because you want to take everybody with you to the next level. But sometimes people have unfinished business on the level that they're currently at. Everybody's not finishing the levels at the same rate and pace as you. That doesn't mean you're never gonna meet up at the same step again. It's just right now they have other things to handle to move on to the next level.
Yeah, it's like just like when you have a spiritual awakening, or you're becoming woke, as the kids like to say nowadays.
Sounding old as hell, y'all. This what 30 sound like. Oh,
But seriously, when you're having that spiritual awakening, a lot of people, they want to try and try and force everyone else around them to have that same awakening, but it might not be their time.
exactly. And it's like at the end of the day, we know that everybody can't go. We hear it all the time. You know it. You know that everybody can't go. Even, like I said, the people that you think deserve to. But let me ask y'all something. If everybody can't go, and you know this, whose responsibility do you think it is to make the cuts?
If it's your story and your experience, you're responsible for it.
Exactly. So then why do we feel bad when it's time to make those decisions to, okay, I have to ascend to the next level because I am ready and this is my life, this is my story, and we'll see. We'll see where I go, where I end up. We'll see who's there. I know who I hope is there. I know who I hope to be there for. But at the end of the day, we got to see. So, my kind of like last question to you would be, what advice do you have for anyone else who may be struggling with this right now, or struggling with accepting the fact that they may
That
be
they've
outgrowing?
outgrown somebody,
And to be clear, I think that this conversation holds weight for not just friends, but family as well. Probably should have started with that.
especially for family.
Yeah, because
Because
blood ain't always thicker than water.
I think more so with family, you feel obligated to never
Not let go.
outgrow
Yeah.
a family member because they share the same blood as you. They might have been around you since you were
Born, literally.
born, right? So you feel like you have that everlasting loyalty to them, when in fact you can for surely outgrow a family member.
Agreed, 100,000%. But what advice would you give someone that's struggling with accepting the fact that they're outgrowing someone, a connection, close to them.
I think my advice would be what has helped me is to
Yeah, because I feel bad because you are experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing.
remembering and appreciating the positive that a person has affected you with. So any good memory, any positivity, um, any good advice at the time that they have given you, just to reflect on it and appreciate that experience you had with them.
I like that. I think I would say never feel bad for doing what's right for you in the moment. As long as you do it respectfully and with grace to yourself and to anybody else involved, the person on the other side or the people on the other side will have to understand. You gotta get where you're going before you can give anybody else directions. And when I started thinking about it like that, it changed my perspective. Just like when you're on a plane. They tell you got to put your mask on first before helping the person next to you. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you, under the sound of my voice, this is your sign to put your mask on first. And most importantly, to not feel bad about it. No one gets to live your life but you. So take the time to intentionally live it to the fullest. And we have made it to our familiar place and our familiar space, the word of the week. This week's word I chose was evaluate. So I'll kind of say what comes to mind when I think of this topic and evaluate, and then I'll let you go if you have anything else to add. I chose the word evaluate because it's important now that the new year has officially begun. You need to set aside time to evaluate your life. And I'm saying that with love. Evaluate your goals, your plans, the company that you keep, and really take some time in this new year to do the inner work to decide what's working and what's not. And everything that's working, promise me and yourself that this year you will pour into those things. You will give it all you got. If it's working for you now, imagine how much better it could be working for you at the end of this year. And as for the things that aren't working, you know what to do with those. What comes to mind when you think of the word evaluate?
Well, for me, you know, being in the military, we do a quarterly evaluation of your performance. So that that's what comes to mind. But
How fit are you to give your life for this country, sir? Let me stop. I'm sorry, y'all.
it is not really, it's not like that. Um it's more so of a person or the person above you just m- just monitoring and watching how you are like as a leader and how you interact with your guys in your leadership role. So, how empathetic you are to them, how are you teaching them, how are you affecting their lives, how are you molding them to be better soldiers to complete the mission or just be better soldiers in general. But I say that to say you can use that aspect in other forms of life, not just in a professional setting. You could use you can evaluate yourself on, spiritually, physically, mentally. You could do that. You could do it quarterly, you could do it every week as much as you need to do it. I think I do it every time I journal. So
Agreed. Get y'all a journal. Get y'all a journal. And if you don't got one, we gonna find you one. Literally. But as far as outgrowing connections and relationships go, and ascending to your next level of life with or without some people, I think what I want you to leave this episode with is that waiting to rip the band aid off doesn't make it hurt any less. And with that said, cue outro. And on that note, if you made it this far, thank you for kicking it with me and chopping it up with me. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. the love and the support. It never goes unnoticed or unappreciated. And if you want to join the conversation in real time, make sure that you're following me across all social media platforms at Tyanne Watson. But more specifically, make sure you're following me on Instagram at Tyanne.Watson, because that's where I'll post all of the polls, all of the questions, and conversation starters. That's also where you guys can expect to see sneak peeks and previews into the episodes to come. We on a new season and we on a new level. This gonna be one hell of a ride. I hope y'all are ready. Until then, I'll see you, you, same time, same place next week for another Melanated Monday. And remember, the goal is to be good and do good. Until next time, peace, y'all.